Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of your favorite conspiracy, alien, elevated, mind-numbingly, but yet charging podcast, U.F.Oh Snap. My name is Jake, and Lindsay right now is getting herself into the right mind space for this podcast. The right mind space.
There we go.
Are you right there?
I am right there.
All right, you go ahead. What's going on? You go ahead.
I'm coughing. Well, last time we talked about the fuckery, so I'm excited to find out what the fuckery is all about.
The fuckery. Yeah, we talked about Roswell.
Yes, we talked about Roswell.
Yeah, bear with me. Oh. Like an old bitch. Okay. That was
So
good.
Roswell.
Fucking Roswell.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we talked about Roswell. God damn it. I thought it was good. Hold on. So we talked about Roswell. I'm back. I'm back. Okay. The thing about Roswell, crash happened in 1947. Well, in the government fuckery, they thought we were stupid, and they said that the ship was not a ship, but it was a ship at first. It was a ship, and then it wasn't a ship. It was a weather balloon. And then they said, you know what? Nope, you're right. You called our bluff. We know we said it was a weather balloon. It was not a weather balloon. It was a conspiracy. What we actually had was a secret balloon. It was a secret balloon called Project Mogul. Like, we're fucking idiots. Like, we're just the dumbest people in the whole planet. Oh, like, we just... Yeah, okay. Anyways, I digress. I have a whole episode about that. But what happened in the wake of Roswell? Something had to happen, right? Well, that takes us to the government and other fun party guests. All right. So, 1947, in July, Roswell incident occurs, and the military claims to have recovered a weather balloon, but we all know it wasn't a weather balloon, right? Is it coincidence that in September 1947, President Harry Truman signs the National Security Act, creating the CIA?
Oh.
Also, there's been, after this incident, right, so many UFO reports coming in. It wasn't just Roswell and stop. Roswell happened, and then people started calling in sightings to all these different things. So the government said, we should maybe look into this. So they opened up a program called Project Sign.
Sign?
Sign. S-I-G-N, right?
Okay.
So Project Sign came along, and what that was they were trying to verify what these sightings were, right?
Okay.
Are they what's going on with them? Well, apparently they were having some trouble with it because they went and decided, let's pivot. And Project Sign became something called Project Grudge, where Project Grudge really was about, hey, let's just disprove all this. Like, if we get a report, let's show why it's not actually a UFO.
It's a weather balloon.
It's a weather balloon. It's a weather balloon. Secret balloon. So eventually Project Grudge boiled down and became another type called Project Blue Book, right? And Project Blue Book was sort of a joint effort. It was a member of the Air Force at the time and a professor named Professor J. Allen Hynek. And what they would do is they went for a long time, and they investigated thousands and thousands of UFO cases.
Okay.
But here's the problem. Many people think that Project Blue Book was also set up to disprove. Instead of prove or investigate, just set up to disprove.
To contain it.
Well, to contain it and like showcase that it's not really what you think it is. That kind of thing. So I'll give you an example. There was an incident that was in 1962.
Okay.
Project Blue Book investigated, okay? Well, what happened was this thing came out of the sky, this big orb thing, down by Cuba. And people saw it, and they tracked it, right? And it came up the East Coast. It came up the coastline. And I mean, people on radar tracked this thing.
Okay.
Came up to New York. Well, then it took a left. And it came across the U.S. And jets were scrambled. And they couldn't catch this thing. They couldn't catch up to it. And they lost it. And it made it to, I think, Eureka, Utah.
Wow.
And it landed. This thing landed, and it knocked out the power of the entire town. And then came back up in the air, took off again, went over by Arizona, and exploded. Exploded in the sky. And I mean, it made newspaper headlines. It was seen everywhere. It was seen in Las Vegas.
Oh my.
Like everywhere. Many states all around saw these bright things.
The Las Vegas Sun?
Yeah. So Project Blue Book investigated this. And do you know what they said that it was?
A weather balloon?
Nope.
Okay.
They said
no.
Meteor. A meteor.
A meteor?
Yeah, because a meteor can take a hard left, land, take back off, and then just explode at will. So, which lends to believe that Project Blue Book was just a big disinformation act. It was, They were looking for bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have this Project Blue Book. The thing is Project Blue Book, the interesting thing is it wasn't a secret program. Like, it wasn't like a top secret thing. It was very public.
Okay.
And so, like, people knew about it. They could call up and they submitted, and now all their findings have been declassified. So you can go in and read all these Project Blue Book files. And there's a lot of them that are unexplained. They can't explain it. They have no idea why. Tons of it, right?
Interesting.
Very interesting. So Project Blue Book, they said it was I don't know. Meteor. Yeah, they tried to say that a meteor can go and make a left turn and land and take back off and knock out power of a town and explode. Like,
I mean, a meteor could explode, but it couldn't do all of that.
Yeah, I mean, but could it? Right? Is it gonna just explode for no reason?
Well, I mean,
what would cause it to explode for no reason? Like, I get if it's burning up in the coming into the atmosphere.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that could be a thing. Sure. Yeah.
But not like just
no
randomly explode.
So these guys, it's true. So these guys continued on with their work, and they came to a final conclusion, and they submitted a final summary of all their work. And their report concluded that most of the U.F.O sightings and encounters investigated by the program could be explained by natural or man-made phenomena. And there was actually no evidence of a threat to national security. But despite the official conclusion, of course, the story of Project Blue Book remains a topic of fascination. But I really think a lot of that, though, with Blue Book is they're not going to release like the good stuff, right? Like, they declassified all that shit.
Well, no, I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea.
They're not going to be like, because they're obviously hiding the truth that they have, craft and things like that.
What would be their motivation? Just because they don't want other governments to know?
Oh, it's all a control thing.
Yeah.
It's all control. It's all about control.
All about control.
It's all about control. You see, where Project Blue Book was really, Project Blue Book is actually really a response to the Washington UFO incident, where people witnessed a swarm of UFOs over the Capitol in the early 50s. There's video of it. It made the news. There's a whole thing about it. And in response to that, Project Blue Book was created.
Okay.
Now, some people try to tie that back into Roswell, but that's not quite correct.
Okay.
But that's not to say there wasn't another organization created out of Roswell. Enter Majestic 12.
Oh.
The Majestic 12. Majestic 12, also known as MJ12, is supposedly, allegedly, a secret committee of scientists, military leaders, government officials that were allegedly to have been formed by Harry Truman. Truman put it together.
Okay.
To contain the cover-up of Roswell and to kind of govern the cover-up into, secretness. Secretness. But the purpose was to investigate and cover up the recovery of the crashed craft and its alien occupants in Roswell.
Occupants.
Yeah, they say that they think that there was bodies recovered from Roswell as well.
Really?
That's what they say. So, the events surrounding Roswell, shrouded in mystery, of course. But the Majestic 12 was formed to investigate the crash and determine how to deal with the
Implications?
To deal with the discovery. Now, the existence of the Majestic 12 was first revealed in 1984. Much later,
yes.
When a man named William Moore claimed to have recovered a set of documents from an anonymous source that detailed the formation and activities of the group. The documents, which have come to be known as the Majestic 12 Papers, they said to have been minutes from meetings of the Majestic 12 and outline the group's effort to cover up the true nature of the Roswell incident. Now, according to those papers, the group was formed at the direction of Truman in the aftermath of the Roswell crash. The papers list all the names of the members of the group, which includes some very influential and powerful people in the country at the time, including military leaders, scientists, government officials. The papers also describe the group's efforts to collect and analyze all available information about that Roswell UFO incident, including the wreckage of it, the bodies that may have been recovered. It also suggests that...
I want to know about the bodies.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Yes, I want to know about the bodies.
The papers do suggest that Majestic 12 was involved in a number of other activities related to the UFO phenomena, including investigations of other sightings and encounters, studies of advanced technologies that may have been recovered from the wreckage, and development of classified projects related to UFOs. Author William Lester says to have uncovered, while conducting research for a new book on Kennedy, a memo written by JFK and addressed to the CIA in which the president requests confidential information about UFOs. So this is where it gets back to, we always talk about this, all right?
Okay.
We always say,
I'm anticipating something here,
I always drop Kennedy, all right? It all comes, it's like, wait, Kennedy?
You entered the Kennedy sphere.
Kennedy. So here's the thing. So Majestic 12 it's like a shadow government, right? It's the government within the government kind of thing.
Okay.
It's the government that's in control of everything to do with this UFO phenomena. Excuse me. And so, but the thing is like not everybody gets access to these this information. Not every president gets the alien briefing.
Okay.
All right. Not even close.
Who do you think definitely didn't?
Who didn't get the briefing?
Yeah.
Ronald.
Or better question: who do you think did get the alien briefing?
Eisenhower absolutely did.
Okay.
Truman absolutely did.
Mm-hmm.
Reagan tried.
And failed.
Well, Reagan was really interesting. No, take it back. Reagan I think got it. Carter tried.
Okay.
So Jimmy Carter tried, and he went to, at the time, of the head of the CIA, which was George H.W. Bush, and said to, I wanted all the paperwork on the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And Bush said to him, that's need to know. And president just asking for curiosity is not a need to know.
Ooh.
And he said, I tell you what, I'll think about it if you make sure that I stay on as the head of the CIA. And Carter fired him on the spot.
Wow.
Fired him on the spot.
You know what's sad? Bill Pullman, Independence Day, he didn't get the alien.
He didn't.
He
didn't get it.
He did not get the alien briefing.
He was like, good morning. Good morning. I challenge all of you to go watch that movie. That's how he starts that fucking whole speech. He speaks into the wrong side of the microphone, and then he turns it around. He's like, good morning. Good morning. In about an hour, the single greatest... Yeah. Clinton... I don't think Clinton did. I don't think Trump did. I think Obama did.
Probably.
I don't think Bush did, but I think Cheney did. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
HW didn't need it because he was part of the cover-up. I mean, he ran the CIA, so he knew about it.
Oh, God.
But so what's really interesting, though, is what Clinton said after he was president. Mm-hmm. He said the first thing, he goes, all right, the first thing that I asked when I became president, I asked 2 questions. All right. I said, I want to know what's up with Roswell and who killed Kennedy. Turns out they were connected.
Oh, yeah. I thought we might be going down this road.
So,
all roads lead back to Kennedy.
All roads lead back to Kennedy. So Kennedy really, really wanted to know what was going on with... He was really interested in the UFO thing, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a whole subset to this about getting to the moon, because, he was very big on... We will get to the moon, not because it is easy, but because it is hard and this and the other thing. That's what he says.
It is. Verbatim.
Yes. Impressed. Goddamn music. So, fuck. What was I saying?
Kennedy to the moon.
So Kennedy... So Kennedy, right? He was really into this stuff, the aliens.
Oh, yeah.
And he wanted to know, about all of it, right? Now, apparently, this came out because of a top secret memo supposedly written. The president ordered the CIA director to organize the agency's intelligence files regarding UFOs and to debrief him on all unknowns by the following February, right? Mm-hmm. So we got to back up a little bit. So before this memo was written, Kennedy knew. He knew things were going on, right? He had the inside thing. Well, Kennedy was banging Marilyn Monroe.
Yes.
Well, Marilyn Monroe and Kennedy had a little bedside chatter where Kennedy... probably, in his fucking vinegar strokes, proceeded to tell Marilyn all about the UFOs. And so she knew the truth, right? Well, we all know what happened, and everybody says to Kennedy, hey, you gotta get away from this Marilyn, you gotta separate yourself. So Kennedy says to Jack, you go and break up with her era for me. And so, he does that. And of course, he takes the opportunity to be like, hey, baby, I'm available. So he starts banging her a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, you know what? I'm out. And Marilyn, talking to her friend who's a reporter, tells her that I'm going to these people, like, they keep ignoring me. I'm going to show them. I'm going to hold a press conference and tell all the fucking secrets. And then she died.
Yeah, she did die.
She fucking died. They said of an overdose of alcohol and sleeping pills.
Mm-hmm.
Coincidentally, that reporter friend of her, like a year later, died the exact same way. Coincidence? I don't know.
Anything is possible. It definitely makes a few connections.
It does. That being said, so Kennedy sends this memo out, issuing this directive, I want to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he also issues a directive that he wants to set up an infrastructure in which to share information with the Soviet Union about space program and the aliens and everything. He wants to share it. He wants to share it with them. We're going to have an open thing. Previous to this, Kennedy talked openly about he hates the word secret and he doesn't like secret organizations and secretists in the government because he knows this MJ-12 thing is going on. Mm-hmm. Well, in these MJ-12 documents...
This is like the skull and bones shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, in these MJ-12 documents that showed up later in life, they talked about, and in some of the Kennedy stuff, talked about Lancer, which was Kennedy's code name. Because every president's assigned a code name.
Yep.
Talking about Lancer needs to be controlled. Watch out for weather. It may need to get wet, which is Soviet code. When they said wet is assassination. So, fast forward, Kennedy writes this memo, November 12th, 1963. 10 days later,
he is shot dead.
He is dead. Dead.
Oh my God.
Dead.
I finally went to Dealey Plaza just this past year. I'd never seen it, and it's amazing to stand there and pull up the actual video, like on your phone, and you can like track it.
You can watch it go through.
Yeah, it's very surreal. Very surreal.
Yeah. So, it's weird. Sorry. You caught me off guard because I started thinking about what you just said. I'm like, oh, yeah. And
it just shows you that sense of place when you do that.
And the Kennedy assassination is insane, right? Because like, if you look at the trajectory of the bullet and how it had to have gone through, like it doesn't line up, right? The other thing is you mean to tell me the guy that was across from him in the hospital, the bullet is found just in his bed. Like they didn't remove it from him. It was just laying there in his bed.
I think I've heard this story that it was just a normal bullet. It wasn't jacketed or it hadn't exploded or gone through anything. Like it hadn't even been fired.
This went through, this bullet supposedly went through bone, and it not a piece of it is missing. Like it's perfect. It's
Do you think they'll ever release all the classified documents on that investigation?
No.
Ever?
No.
Ever?
Maybe like when the government, like it doesn't exist, and like the overlords come down.
Yes. And they finally just rub it in our face, like, ha ha ha, we fooled you, you dumb fucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people shouldn't put this past anything, I mean, look at some of the shit that like we know for 100% true that happened because of declassification and things. Like, nothing surprises me anymore. Like the Bay of Pigs. I mean, we were gonna kill a lot of our own people just to start a fucking war with Cuba. Like in Kennedy, if it wasn't for Kennedy, we would have. It's just like goes back to Vietnam. Like that was all a lie. Like that was based on a lie.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's just like all these things that were fucking just. I mean, okay, talk about the worst one. Fucking NASA, Project Operation Paperclip.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Operation Paperclip.
Operation Paperclip. Ladies and gentlemen, this is fucking true. If you've never heard of this right now, all right, I'm about this one. You can put a pause on conspiracy theory. I'm about to tell you some actual history that they don't teach in school, and I don't know why, but they should.
Yeah, they should.
So y'all know how we went to the moon? You know, we put Lance Armstrong, Lance Armstrong rode his bike
all the way to the moon with one ball.
One ball.
All the way.
One ball to the moon.
One small ball for mankind.
One small ball for man. One giant ball for mankind.
There's a joke in there somewhere,
yeah,
but we cannot find it.
So, no, I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, back to history. Yes. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, on the moon, Saturn V rocket, all right? Mm-hmm. The Apollo missions, okay. Do you know the name of the gentleman who ran NASA at the time and put those people on that and made that program happen? He was a very smart man named Wernher von Braun. Mm-hmm. Wernher von Braun was a part of Operation Paperclip, where after the fucking Nazis were defeated, instead of hanging them all, we went over and took the top scientists, snuck them back here, fucking gave them fake identities, and put them amongst everybody. That dude was a Nazi. Not only was that dude a Nazi, he was a fucking bad Nazi. He was an SS fucking Nazi. He ran in Berlin a rocket factory, right? Where every single day, and this is verifiable, you Google this shit, motherfuckers. Fucking Google. All right? He ran a rocket factory, you know, that was all filled with fucking Jews.
But wouldn't you say he's like a really good Nazi because he's really good at being a Nazi? You wouldn't call him a bad Nazi?
He's a great bad Nazi.
You know?
Or a bad great Nazi. What I don't know. Winner. Winning. But what they would do is every day they would find the 5 slowest workers, take them out front and hang them.
Oh my God.
Every day. You don't dare be the slowest guy. You don't dare be the top or bottom 5.
Jesus.
Every day. And this is the gentleman that we just said, here's NASA. There you go. He fucking put men on the moon. He did it. And this is fucking Wikipedia, this shit, ladies and gentlemen. This is history. This is true. A goddamn bona fide member of the SS Nazi, high-ranking member in fucking Hitler's army, ran NASA and put Americans on the moon. Woo!
Wow.
Yeah. And just so we can get it out of the way, I don't believe that we faked the moon landing.
No.
I 100% think we went there.
Yes,
there was
me
some
too.
Fuckery with that, though. There was some fuckery.
I'm sure we'll be talking about the moon in future episodes.
There's some fuckery with the moon, but there was some fuckery with the moon landing. That I do think we went there, but like there's things where like there's photos that were like quote unquote photoshopped, but altered. That were like they used as like this is him in space, but really they found out it's like him in training, and it's like, well, why did you alter that? Like they found the original photo that they photoshopped, quote unquote, or altered.
Maybe just because they couldn't. I don't know.
There's
no, but I definitely 100% believe that we went to the fucking moon.
We absolutely went to the moon. Now it's what happened when we got to the moon. That's where the fuckery starts, ladies and gentlemen. And then it goes all the way to the core of the moon, which there isn't one.
Oh, snap.
We'll get to that in a future episode, but the moon is not real. So I digress. So Kennedy.
Back to Kennedy.
Essentially. So Kennedy. Essentially died because of the UFO.
To keep that under wraps.
Because he was all about the transparency, and he wanted to share the information, and he was all about it. Now, what's really interesting is all the other fuckery that's going on. Like
more fuckery?
There's so every president there's fuckery. You know, I mean, you have Ronald Reagan, for example, who before he became president had a UFO experience. Saw a UFO, talked open about it. Oh yeah,
wow,
talked open about it. Became president, fucking won't talk about it. Won't talk about it. Although Reagan said some crazy shit. Reagan fucking addressed the UN, the fucking UN, and said, "I wonder if all of our how quickly all of our differences would fade if we were facing a threat from outer space."
Oh yeah, a single common enemy.
Well, he specifically said a threat from outer space, and then he said, "And I ask you, isn't that threat here already?" He said that. Yeah. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No.
Hold on.
Okay, say that quote one more time.
I'm going to have him say that quote.
Oh, my goodness.
Hold on. Reagan, UN, alien quote. This is really exciting. I know people are driving their cars like, oh my God, I'm so glad I tuned into the silence. Take a hit. That's what people should do right now. No, I mean, not us. We should be talking. But anyways, he said some shit.
You find it later.
I'll find it later.
Plug it in.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Insert here.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
There it is. All right, there it was. And if I forgot to put it in there, you'll find it in the show notes. I'll for sure put it in the show notes. But yeah, so he said that shit, right? And then you had like Jimmy Carter, who also was a big proponent, and he said that if he became president, he would one of his campaign promises was he was like, I'm gonna open the floodgates, I'm gonna open the vault, I'm gonna give it all to you. Here you go. And then he became president, and then he was just like, you know what? Maybe I'm not. Turns out there's some shit that I can't tell you. There's some intense things. And just kidding. Just JK.
Wow.
There's some fuckery.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time a politician went back on their campaign promise, but hardy har.
You show me the one that kept him. Yeah, I mean, but there's been some interesting things, right? Like Obama.
No, but that is very interesting.
I mean, Obama, though, went on late night talk shows and said that, like,
UFOs we have no idea what these fucking things are. Yeah.
There are things in the sky. We don't know what they are. And that's true. I don't know why he does that. It's true. But so it's a really interesting time. It's a really interesting time, you know. And if you follow this MJ12 trail, it really leads throughout history, you know. And some say that they're still there today. You know? Some say that they're still there today, you know, still controlling this. Because if you start looking at it, what technology has come from that Roswell crash, if it indeed was a recovered craft. You know, what have we got? Fiber optics, maybe? You know, the microwave? I don't know. You know, TiVo?
The Roku?
The Roku? Is the Roku, I ask you, ladies and gentlemen,
alien technology.
is the...
Secret alien technology.
I was going to go secret Roku, but...
Oh, no, that would work too.
Whatever.
Do that one too.
Secret Roku. So MJ12 formed, and you know, some say it's still in existence today, but obviously there's some shit going on with the government, but and we'll get there to today's what's going on today, because there's a lot going on today that's insane. We'll get there, but we're not quite there yet. So far, we're only up to about the 80s.
I love the 80s.
Oh, I love the 80s too. And yeah. So, Lindsay, what have you learned today?
Okay, well, we went through a lot.
We did.
We went through a lot. Well, we talked about the government fuckery with secret organizations.
So many fuckeries.
And one secret organization begets another secret organization.
It's true. It's true.
But like the Sauron of the of the secret organizations is the Majestic 12. And they are controlling everything, including presidents.
Yeah, with the UFOs for sure, at least. I mean, that's kind of their bag. Absolutely. I mean, their whole thing is to really keep everything under wraps.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, because we talked about Project Blue Book and how their disinformation campaigns, they're like, no, it was swamp gas.
Yeah, a lot of swamp gas came out of Project Blue Book. A lot of swamp gas. That's absolutely true.
And then we had a serious rant about NASA and Nazis.
Oh, the fucking NASA Nazis. Yeah, I mean we're talking about a lot of like maybes with these. You know, I mean nothing. Who knows? No one knows for sure.
We're just having conversation.
Yeah. But one thing is for abso-fucking-lutely sure is that a goddamn bona fide Nazi ran NASA and put men on the moon.
Sorry, I brought it up.
That's 100% factually accurate history, ladies and gentlemen. Project Operation Paperclip.
Yeah.
I'll put links in the show notes because goddamn.
And we talked about Kennedy.
Yeah.
And his affair with Marilyn Monroe and
fucking aliens.
Questions around her death and his death.
Aliens killed them both, man. I mean,
fucking aliens.
Fucking aliens killed them both. You know what's kind of fucked up is like they were on the right track, right? For one day, the government did the right thing for one fucking day. July 7th, 1947. They did the right thing. They issued a fucking press release that said we recovered a U.F.Oh. And then it took them one day to be like, just kidding. And then that's it. That's it. Mm-hmm. Then the MJ-12 is the Majestic 12 group is created, and that's where the fuckery begins. Mm-hmm. And and so the whole point of really of MJ-12 is to keep it silent, and they did a pretty good job up until the 80s, and then the fucking bomb dropped. And the world met a gentleman by the name of Bob Lazar.
I have heard of Bob Lazar, so I'm excited to talk about him.
And we will on the next episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Of course, you can check us out on all of the socials, the U.F.Oh Snap. I'm Jake.
I'm Lindsay.
Saying, hey, make sure you keep your head above the clouds and stay elevated. Goodbye.